Let's move on to Andrew's question. He says, what do we do if our why conflicts with the foo? I don't know my exact retirement number, but I'm 50 years old. I have $1.7 million in an IRA, $830K in my house equity, and steps 1 through 4 of the foo are covered. But if I spend more on steps 5 and 6, I'll spend less money for my kids, which is my why. What do you think?
Well, I think there's a little misunderstanding there on, and Bo, we talk about this all the time. I mean, because the analogy is perfect, is that when you get on that flight, they tell you, hey, you know, if this thing starts going down, make sure you put the oxygen on your nose first before you take care of the kids, because you've got to be of sound mind to get through the craziness. And I think that that's true with your finances as well. Sure. Is that there's so many books, I mean, so many stories out there. I was talking about this for years, and then what do you know? The New York Times does an actual article on it of talking about this growing trend of retirees that are just moving into their kids' basements, not because they wanted the benefits of an extended family, but because there is a growing older generation that just gets to retirement, and we're working on the net worth show right now, so we know that this is the default for a lot of Americans out there, and they're just broke as a joke, and they don't, and so they have to, not out of, like I said, the benefits of having multiple generations living together, but because you just can't take care of yourself. You go and you say, hey, all those years that I loaded you up with the best vacations, that you probably thought we had a little jingle in the bank because, I drove nice cars. I even got you a nice car when you turned 16. We made all those great memories. Well, now I'm here to give you the time to pay up. Your mother and I spent all the money, so we're going to require you and your spouse, who are just starting your family. But we figured you'd have no problem with us just moving either up in that bedroom up there or in the basement down below.
Not a great conversation.
That doesn't sound. And Andrew, based upon everything you just shared, because you've built up a lot of resources and assets there. That's what we're saying. I don't want you. I'm not trying to take away from your children. I'm just trying to make sure that there's a time and a place. There's get wealthy behaviors. There's stay wealthy behaviors. And that's why we have an entire section once you get to step 8 of the financial order of operations for prepaid future expenses and abundance goals. Well, go love on the kids. Just don't ruin them. I mean, I will tell you, there's a whole journey on that too, a discussion I could have, but I'm not trying to take away from your kids.
I'm not willing to concede that your why and your goals are actually in conflict with the financial order of operations. Because if you remember, when we designed this whole curriculum that we have, you can go to learn.moneyguy.com to see it. We wanted to answer 3 very specific questions. Where am I today? It's a net worth tool. Where am I going? That's the Know Your Number course. And how do I get there? That's the financial order of operations. If you're curious about the genesis, that's the ideas that we had around that. Well, if you are in your 50s and you have well over a $2 million net worth, I would argue you are well on your way. One of the things I'd figure out is you do need to start thinking about what is the destination, what is the ultimate why, even once the kids are outside the house. And what you may find is, okay, based on the life that we live, based on the way that we spend money, based on the things that we want to do, I think I'm going to need X dollars per month in order to live the life I want to live. Well, you should work through the Know Your Number course to figure out, what is my number? You may not have it exactly figured out, but if all you were trying to do is mirror the current lifestyle you are living, the Know Your Number course will tell you that. Well, then you're going to know the number that you need to get to. You're going to know where you are today, and it's pretty simple math to figure out how short am I? Well, you may find that based on all the hard work you've done in your 20s and your 30s and your 40s, at this stage of life, there's nothing wrong with letting off the gas pedal a little bit if you so choose. You may figure out, hey, we only need to save 15%, 20% in order to achieve our number by our desired age. And so what we're going to start doing is start doting on the kids, start doing some of those other things, start creating some of those memories. I don't think that they're in conflict at all. I think you've actually reached that point to where now the narrative gets to shift a little bit. Now you get to focus more on, why am I making the decisions that I'm making, and what are my near-term goals, my intermediate-term goals, and my long-term goals, If the long-term goal of financial independence is already satisfied or well on its way to being satisfied, then you get to back down and start knocking out some of those nearer term goals. I don't actually think they're in conflict at all. I think he's just at a unique stage in the process to where he's moving into the next chapter.
You did forget one other value add that we can offer.
Oh.
Because you're talking about, because I love that you talked about the arc there, is that you've got the net worth to know where you are, you've got the know your number to know where you're going, you got the financial order of operations to give you the path. But there is a kind of a graduation point.
Oh, that's great.
For everybody
That's
who
great.
kind of is, because we call this the abundance cycle. We want you to come love on, we love on you, give you all this free content, come be the best version of yourself. But when you get to the point of Andrew, where you're over $2 million and you're now starting to say, man, these things are in conflict. I'm trying to make sure I'm maximizing. That's when you're supposed to take the relationship to the next level. So you're not just relying upon what we can create here with the Money Guy Show. You actually get a custom financial plan that is just zoned in and customized to your actual financial life. So you get to live your best life and don't have to have any fears or concerns. Are my goals disconnected from the financial order operations? We'll do a foo for you. I mean, we'll make this thing just beautiful. So go check that out. You can go to moneyguy.com. We have work with us. You can go to aboundwealth.com. We have work with us. Don't skip the step, Andrew. You sound like you're there. We just got to, get you in the fold here.
Dynamite.